Hi everybody, welcome. It is 2 p.m. Eastern and you are on the Self-Leadership Reading Club. What does that mean? That means that you don't have to go out and buy the book. Yay, save yourself some money. We do some reading and then we do some discussion and comments. So I've been teaching leadership now for over 22 years. And I asked myself, why am I teaching self-leadership as opposed to actual formal leadership in the workplace? Well, if you are a great leader, you have to be able to walk your talk. And that includes continuously developing yourself so you can pass on more knowledge onto your team members, inspire them more, and give them more value. So here we go. So currently we are reading Jack Canfield's book, The Success Principles. We are on principle 16, believe it or not. This is the first time that you are watching one of the episodes. Let me bring up the comments here. I do invite you to go and have a look at some of the other episodes and take in some of the knowledge there. If you want to receive the show notes from week to week, you can subscribe by going into the link there for the comments. All right, so let's get started. Principle 16 is be willing to pay the price. Bum, bum, bum. It actually sounds kind of a bit scary, this one, but I have some comments and I have some thoughts on it, and I totally invite your comments and thoughts too. If people knew how hard I had to work to gain my mastery, it wouldn't seem wonderful at all, said Michelangelo. And that's so very true, right? Have you seen photographs of ballerinas' feet? That doesn't say it, I don't know what. Behind every great achievement is a story of education, of training, of practice, discipline, and sacrifice. You have to be willing to pay the price. Maybe that price is pursuing one single activity while putting everything else on your life on hold. Maybe it's investing all of your own personal wealth or savings. Maybe it's the willingness to walk away from the safety of your current situation. But through many things are typically required to reach a successful outcome, the willingness to do what is required adds to the extra dimension to the mix that helps you persevere in the face of overwhelming challenges, setbacks, pain, and even personal injury, which hopefully doesn't happen. Pain is only temporary. The benefits can last forever. I have some thoughts about this one, but listen to this story and I'd love to hear your thoughts. I remember back to the 1976 Summer Olympic Games when the men's gymnastic competition captured the attention of the world. With the roar of the crowd in the background, Japan's Shun Fujimoto landed a perfect triple somersault twist dismount from the rings to clinch the gold medal in team gymnastics. With his face contorted in pain and his teammates holding their breath, he followed a near flawless routine by achieving a stunning and perfect landing on a broken right knee. This is not the first gymnastics story I've heard like this, actually. It was an extraordinary display of courage and commitment. Interviewed later about the win, he revealed that even though he had injured his knee during the earlier floor exercise, it became apparent as the competition continued that the team gold medal would be decided by the rings apparatus, his strongest event. The pain shot through me like a knife, he said. It brought tears to my eyes, but now I have a gold medal and the pain is gone. What was it that gave him his extraordinary courage in the face of excruciating pain and very real risk of serious injury even? I can't talk. You can tell it's Friday, right? It was a willingness to pay the price and probably a long history of paying the price every day on the road to simply winning a spot to compete in the Olympics. Now, I have my thoughts about that. What is worth physical pain? What is worth physical pain? Childbirth. You know, it's going to happen. Is one, for example. But then where my challenge is with this particular story, and I admire him, kind of breathing through the pain and going through it to get the gold medal. But what you've got to do is weigh up, is the risk worth it? Is the risk worth it? And I may have already shared this experience with you in a previous episode. If I have, I apologize, but if I haven't, here goes. So for those that know me, I have done, and I've spoken in previous episodes about how I walked cold. And I absolutely did not burn my feet, nor did I feel the heat. But I had something like 11 hours beforehand to prepare with 11,000 other people about how to do mind over matter. And I looked at the heat and how would I feel the heat. So I associated it with my grandparents' gas fire growing up when I was little. How would I handle the smell? How would I handle my fear? All that kind of thing. And I did mind over matter. So I believe that that can be done. And you can actually ignore the pain. I have witnessed women do it in childbirth. I know friends that have done it in childbirth and they've hypnotized themselves. I've seen people do it in NLP session, quantum change processes. I know that it's possible, but I struggle a little bit with, in the moment, getting over that pain hurdle. But that's interesting. So I'd love to know your thoughts about that. There's lots of stories that Jack Canfield has shared. I'm not going to share them all, but there is a couple of really, really cool ones. Let's have a look here. Putting in the time. Now, this is important. Time is precious real estate. Time in your brain is precious real estate. You listening to something like you are now, and I'm grateful for it, is precious real estate. So you need to know, is it worth the time? Okay, so here's some example. Part of paying the price is the willingness to do whatever it takes to get the job done. It comes from a declaration that you're going to get it done no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, no matter what comes up. It's a done deal. You are responsible for the results that you intend. No excuses, just a world-class performance or an outstanding result that can be counted on. Consider this. Here's a few examples like this. Michael Crichton is the Emmy and Peabody Award-winning creator of the television series ER. His books have sold over 100 million copies in 30 languages, and 12 have been made into films, 7 of which he directed himself. His books and films include Jurassic Park, The Congo, Coma, Twister, World. He is the only person to, turn the page here, to have had at the same time the #1 book, the #1 movie, and the #1 television show in the United States. And with all his natural talent, he still says books aren't written, they are rewritten. It is one of the hardest things to accept, especially after the 7th rewrite hasn't quite done it. Ernest Hemingway rewrote Farewell to Arms 39 times. Goodness. This dedication to excellence would later lead him to win the Pulitzer and Nobel Prizes for literature. Scott Peck only received $5,000 advance for the road less traveled. However, he was willing to pay the price to fulfill his dream. During the first year after it was published, he participated in 1,000 radio interviews to advertise and promote his book. He continued to do a minimum of 1 interview a day for the next 12 years, keeping the book on the New York best-selling list for over 540 weeks, which was actually a record, and selling more than 10 million copies in over 20 languages. That's crazy. That's a lot. And it's all about how dedicated are you to your goal. Does it mean that you really have to go and hurt yourself? No. But how dedicated are you, in fact, to your goal? How far are you willing to go? Let's find out the price that you're willing to pay. Of course, if you don't know what the price is, you can't choose to pay it. Sometimes the first step is to investigate the steps that will be required to achieve your desired goal. For example, many people, perhaps you, say they want to own a yacht, but have you ever researched how much money you would have to earn in order to buy one, or how much it costs to harbor the yacht in your local marina, or how much the monthly maintenance, fuel, insurance, and license costs? You may need to research what costs others have had to pay to achieve dreams similar to yours. You might want to make a list of several people who have already done what you want to do and interview them about what sacrifices they've had to make along the way. You may discover that some costs are more than you are willing to pay. You may not want to risk your health, your relationships, or your entire life saving for a certain goal. You have to weigh in all the factors. That dream job may not be worth your marriage, your kids, or lack of balance. Only you can decide what is right for you and what price you are willing to pay. It may be that what you want doesn't serve you in the long run, but if it is, find out what you need to do and then set about doing it. So I want to share a couple of things for you. One of the biggest I'm going to share 2 of the biggest drivers to be motivated and disciplined in anything are the following. You'll be motivated by time, or there has to be enough pain or pleasure attached to it. Time or enough pain and pleasure attached to it. Let's look at the time. We are motivated by a deadline. So let's say, for example, if you don't save up enough money for your trailer by due date, you don't get to have the summer in the trailer. Boo-hoo, okay? It's a deadline. You have until that. You know it's coming in the year. Christmas, you know, comes once a year. You have all year to save it up. If you decide in November, oh, I'm actually going to buy these people and these people gifts, you know you only have a set amount of time to earn it. So you need to know, what are you going to have to give up, to sacrifice in order to achieve that goal, right? The other thing to consider is when deciding a goal, and I invite you to totally revisit all of your goals and take a look at it and say, is there enough pain or is there enough pleasure attached to it? And here's what I mean by pain. What are the consequences if you don't do it? Let me give you an example of that. So mine over the last 6 months has been an energy gain. And I say that as opposed to a weight loss because it's all focused on energy gain for me. So I have to lose another 22 pounds. So I kind of do a risk analysis and say, what are the consequences of me not doing this? What are the consequences of me not losing that weight? Can I cope with only the energy level? What would I set to gain? What pleasure would I gain? So we go pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure. So either you have to have lots of pain attached to the consequences of not doing it, or lots of pleasure attached to the consequences of actually achieving this. So the consequences of me losing my weight and gaining this energy are, during the summer, I can bike ride more with the kids. I can run around on the beach more with the kids and throw frisbees and things like that and not get totally exhausted, right? I can not be going to bed at 10 o'clock at night and get to bed at 11 instead and stay up with my friends around the fire, for example. Maybe the pain is that it's really bad for me. You know, I've got fat around my vital organs, which is unhealthy, and I don't want to be unhealthy, and I want to have longevity around for the kids. So when looking at your goals, is there enough pain or pleasure attached to it? Really, really important. You've got to ask yourself, is the risk worth it? Is the risk of me working out every day for 20 minutes where I'm going to be like, I don't want to do it and I want to have more sleep? Is the risk worth it? If the answer is yes, you're going to go for it on your goals, and I'm here to support you. You can send any question you like to Ella at ellabates.com, or you can comment directly on this video. I thank you for joining us for principle number 16. I'm really excited for you to join us on Monday for principle 17, and you have a wonderful weekend. If you're watching the replay, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next episode.